Hello and welcome to today's video. Today, I wanted to cover the build and the weapons I'll be taking into the new dungeon that is currently, as far as we know, called Duality. Um, I for dungeons, you don't really need to switch off a lot. You kind of just need to find the build that's going to work for you for the duration of the dungeon. They're not like raids where you end up with like severely different encounters and you need to like be able to switch on the fly. Especially since when dungeons come out, most of the time you have to remember that all of what you see has to be solo follow. um, so usually dungeons, their difficulty doesn't come from the 3-player part. But with that being said, I have the class, the build, and then some key weapons that I'm taking into the dungeon on day 1. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, let's get this party on the road. Alright, so yes, I'm going to be a hunter for the dungeon tomorrow. I have a video coming later in the season that is probably going to upset some of you, but I will explain my reasoning for being on hunter in the future. So we're going to be on Night Stalker. This is not because Gunslinger is bad, but because I know what Night Stalker can do. I know what this build can do, and I know that if I'm running this build, I'm not necessarily a possible detriment to my team. I know that if I'm on this, the dungeon will be easy, because it probably will be with this build. I do not think Solo 3.0 is bad. I think it's fine. In fact, I actually prefer running Solo 3.0, but I don't have a build yet that I feel is as consistent or as powerful as this is right now. So that would be why I am on Night Stalker still. With that being said, on Night Stalker, we're gonna be on Mobius Quiver. We're gonna be on the dodge doesn't really matter, it's your choice. Probably Marksman's dodge because you're not really using your melee for anything. And then vortex grenades, or whatever grenade you personally prefer. We're going to be on Stylus Executioner and Vanishing Step. Vanishing Step is just to help you go invis in case you get into a crappy situation. And then Stylus Executioner is going to be your like big invis thing, because you're going to be abusing volatile rounds a lot. You can also weaken targets and then kill them with your Snare Bomb. We're going to be using Echo of Persistence. This is going to allow all of our stuff to last longer, our invisibility and devours to last longer. We're going to be on Echo of Expulsion. This is going to allow all of our void abilities to cause explosions when things die. We're going to be on Echo of Instability. This is to create volatile rounds for our weapons. This is also going to synergize really well with Devour, because Devour does help with your grenade cooldown when you're getting kills. And this will allow us to basically farm volatile rounds while we have Devour up on our screen. Lastly, we're going to have Echo of Starvation. This is going to hurt our recovery, but that's fine. We're going to be on Devour, so our recovery is not going to really matter, because we are going to have full health all the time as long as we are getting kills. On to the helmet. The helmet is looking very similar to a lot of stuff from last season. Ashes to Assets, Harmonic Siphon, and then Elemental Armaments. Elemental Armaments create void elemental wells when they do spawn. Ashes to Assets to help when our grenade does get kills to generate super energy. The gloves are going to be pretty open. A couple things you could do here. You could set in a second Elemental Ordnance if you wanted. And then you could get a and then you obviously want to slot in a grenade kickstart. That way your grenade is on the shortest cooldown possible. If there is champions, I would just have void weapons of each of these types, of each of these primary types, ready to go, just in case there are champions. However, we've not had a dungeon with champions yet, so I don't predict there to be champions in the dungeon. On to the chest piece. So the chest piece for right now is going to be on Void. Though it doesn't need to be on Void this season, because you could slot in the armor of the Dying Star. Sorry, I am not awake apparently. And this does solar and void resistance for you. And then obviously a Will of Tenacity here on the void piece. Onto the boots. The boots are pretty simple, just a elemental ordnance and then a recuperation. Recuperation is just going to let you start health pickup immediately once you proc Devour. We are on Star Eater Scales. There's two reasons for this. Technically, Star Eater Scales is the best version of any super as long as you maximize your orb pickups. And also, this will allow you to keep Devour refreshed because you can still pick up orbs even once your super is charged and you don't have to run charged with light mods. Lastly, onto the class item. The class item is going to have double bomber this season because the overload is solar grenades. And then a bountiful wells. So when you dodge, you're going to get a whole bunch of your grenade back if you don't already have it back from Devour and stuff. Overall, pretty simple build. All right, let's hop over to the weapons. The weapons, I'm just going to recommend that you bring a add clear primary in each slot, whichever one you prefer. This build works really well with title because it's going to help you give your class ability back. I personally really like the title. I know some people who really don't like it and just prefer funnel web. If you prefer funnel web, run it instead. And then obviously whatever your go-to add clear primary is in the kinetic slot. I would bring Witherhoard. In case we get a boss that you have to move with a lot. Witherhoard's going to be key there. And then I would bring Izanagi's Burden. There's multiple reasons for this. If we get a room like Cube Room from Prophecy, you can one-shot the Knights in Prophecy in the Cube Room with Izanagi's Burden, and it really speeds up that encounter. Also will help delete any really beefy targets. I would also make sure you bring a fusion. Fusions are the best special besides slugs, and if we have a boss that is either A, not critable, or B, too far away to use slugs, but too close to use snipers, fusions will come out. Think something like Grasp of Avarice final boss. Like where you stand, like you can't shoot him with a slug because you're too far, unless you place it really close to him. Fusions work perfectly in that encounter. I would bring Lament, Sleeper, a regular rocket to pair with a G-Horn, and then a G-Horn. Also, if you either have Cataclysmic or Reeds, I would also bring it. I'd also bring these in case you want to be on an exotic somewhere in here. Cataclysmic is technically just as good as Reeds, but Reeds does win if it has the Weistinger perk in total DPS. But without all that being said, that is it for the build and the weapons I'm bringing in to the new dungeon. Alright, that's going to be it for the video today. I do hope that this gave you something to run and maybe some weapon ideas of what to bring into the new dungeon. I personally won't actually be playing the dungeon on day one. I'll be playing it when I get back from vacation, but this will be what I'm bringing in when I do actually go play the dungeon. I don't see any changes happening unless something pops up with solar that I don't know about currently. Overall, I hope everyone has enjoyed this video. I hope this video was helpful or informative to you. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like on this video and subscribing to the channel for more content just like this. Thank you everyone. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.